Hello, gents.
Right, okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, he says.
Great start.
So we're back. Obviously, we're going to do another video. We all decided to do another one because A, we've got nothing else to do today.
True.
B, we've got no football quiz today, and C, no training. So we thought, rather than me having to be inside and do nothing, let's all moan at each other and discuss things and do another video. And then hopefully it's another day gone closer to end of lockdown. So
Yeah, a bit of positive news came out though just now. The Bundesliga is going to start in 10 days' time,
hooray! More football.
Hey,
which is
football.
some sort of positive news after all this, which is good
Hey, why don't we
positive
do,
stuff.
if it's live and it's online, we should do a Zoom video chat of a live game, but have the game shared so we can all watch it at the same time and we can commentate on it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Boom shaka. See?
Boom.
First smart idea James come up with.
Reece, we're not going to discuss what your idea was a minute ago. That went horribly wrong. Hence why we've had to do a second video because it took so long. All right.
Yeah.
So I've asked you
Touche.
both to come up with a topic. Who wants to go first?
You haven't been first in a while, Jamie. I think you should go first, you know.
Oh, someone's got their big boy pants on. Oh. All right, I'll go first. I might actually crack a window open because it is hot in here. Give me 2 secs.
I'm well hungry. I haven't got any food.
Oh, yeah. That's better. Oh, no. Radio's going on. There we go. Right. Oh, right, okay. So my topic, very simple. I'll do just one at the moment. Is, hang on. I don't want the window all the way down, but I want it all the way up. There we go. Who is going to win next year's Euros? So, very simple. Do you want me to discuss it, or are you two going to go first?
Or do you want to, we'll throw out a name and then we'll go around.
Okay.
Like we did earlier with the Messi Ronaldo thing.
All right, we'll go youngest to oldest, or should I say dumbest to
why me first?
We'll go dumbest to wisest. So, Reece, you're
So, Jamie,
first.
you're first.
Reece, you're first, mate.
I'm going to go with France.
Elliot?
Oh. Just to make it different, I'm going to go with Holland.
Okay.
The Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go very simple. England. I'm backing my home. I had 2 in mind. England or Portugal. But I'm going England.
So why England then?
I'm going to say why England then, he says.
No, go on, explain it then.
I'm sticking with the boys. I'm going for Southgate's Lions. So why England? Very simple. The years and years of hurt has got to come to an end at some point. I think as well, the team looks really good. I think we've been crying out for young English talent that can actually do something with it and don't buckle under pressure at a tournament. And it looks like that's coming. Hopefully Declan Rice doesn't go, which will help us even more. You look at our front 3 or our 5 attacking players, and I think they're as good as anyone in world football. So if you've got Rashford, let's just for argument's sake, Rashford, Kane, Sterling, that is probably one of the best front 3, and I mean international-wise, in the world. Name me a better front 3. A consistent front 3.
That's a good point.
Exactly. I couldn't think of any other front 3 banging in goals better at the moment.
Or Belgium's is quite good. Yeah. But I know what you're saying. I agree with you.
Yeah. I think the fact that we got to a semis in the World Cup last time has massively helped us get over some demons and some ghosts. I think winning 2 penalty shootouts in the last 2 tournaments has massively helped us as well. So we're not going to be afraid of taking penalties now. And it's about time that we win something. You know, we've been crying out for something. In my lifetime, I've seen us lose on penalties. Let me think. 3 times, I think, maybe 4. And that, you know, and we finally won a shootout. When we beat Colombia in the last World Cup and it went to penalties, I went and stood in the back of my back garden. I didn't watch it because I couldn't watch it. I just could not watch it. And the only reason I knew we won was because I could hear my wife screaming. So I just think we look exciting. We look better. I think we've developed well under Southgate. And I never thought I'd say that because I didn't want him in to start with. So I could put my hands up and say I was wrong about that. That's probably the only thing I'm wrong at. So I'm sticking my neck out and going to England. I think the group we should easily breeze through. Easily. The only one I would slightly fear would be Croatia, but I think we've got enough to beat them easily at Wembley because all our group games are at Wembley. So home comforts. Also, the semi-finals at Wembley and the finals at Wembley as well. So we're pretty much playing at home for the majority of the tournament. So home advantage, I think, goes England's way as well. Probably not a lot of travelling for the England boys. So I'm sticking my neck out and going England.
That's fair. That's a really good point, to be fair.
And also, Marcus Rashford's going to fire us to the victory in the final against either France or Holland.
Ooh. 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 Reece, do you want to go for your French?
Yeah, I'll go for my French one now. Yeah.
You need to say it. You need to say it in French, Reece. The whole.
Yeah, I want it in French.
I
Type it
failed
all
French,
in translate and just get it to speak.
I don't tend to do that. We'll be here all day. Go on, Reece. Let's see you
5 minutes left.
Les Blues.
So the reason,
Blues.
yeah, I know, I'm aware, but so the reason why I'd say France is because, quite frankly, during the World Cup they were unstoppable, pretty much. I'd say they were solid throughout the whole tournament defensively.
I
They
disagree with
were
that.
clinical in attack. And,
Disagree with that. They
which
leaked a
one?
few goals. France.
They leaked a few, but they were solid during the knockout stages.
Yes, because they were
Belgium
playing
was probably
Australia.
Played Belgium, didn't concede then. They were solid then.
Reece, they played Australia in the group games.
Yeah, that's why I said knockout.
Right, you just said they were solid throughout the whole tournament.
All right.
And I'm countering that and saying, no, they weren't because they conceded goals.
All right, let's change it up a bit. Let's go. Apart from the 4-3 against Argentina, they were solid. I'd say.
No, they weren't.
They've got decent.
They conceded 2 in the final. No, was it 1 or 2 in the final? I'm pretty sure it was 2.
2, but
there we go. That's 5.
It was 2. It was 4-2.
There we go. That's 5 goals in 2 games. So how can they be solid?
Right, all around, they've got a decent team.
See this? Bottle job. Come on. I want you to persuade me France are going to win it.
They are very, very good in attack with Antoine Griezmann, Mbappe, a bunch of other wingers such as Coman.
Reece, are you reading off a bit of paper that a 10-year-old's writ?
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
I'm not getting persuaded here.
Let's just close this down.
I think the England boys are going to win this over France, judging by your argument.
Well, I mean, possibly it's just been on the bin my argument at the moment by you. So.
Well, I'm just countering, and you're then supposed to shut down my argument.
Yeah, that ain't quite gone to plan, has it?
No. So come on, tell me why Les Blues are going to win the Euros.
Pretty much, they were just another class of everyone else, pretty much, at the World Cup, and that's the only reason why I'm going France.
But that was 2 years
over
ago.
Everyone else.
That was 2 years ago. They didn't make the Nations League semi-finals like we did.
That is true, but they are still a relatively decent team. Can't class that as a majors, can you?
No.
Why not? Everyone got into it, didn't they?
It's not a major.
Yeah.
No way.
All right, try telling Portugal fans that.
Easy.
Ooh, Elliot.
Solid.
Sorry, not Elliot.
Yeah,
Reece,
so-
your French argument is because they were good in the World Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. They were good in the World Cup. Pogba seems to play different when he's with his national team than he does with United. Same with a couple other France players. And overall, they're really solid as a team, and they can beat
Reece,
the big teams.
You keep talking really slowly for a sec, okay? You tell Elliot why France are going to do it. I just need to tell my dog off. Hopefully, when I get back, you'll be finished. You keep going. So I'll watch this back and see if you actually do it. You keep talking for a sec. I'll be back in a sec.
All
Hopefully.
right.
Take your headset off. We don't want to hear you turn your dog off.
Oh, there we are.
There we go. Lovely car seat there. Mate, I have
Amazing.
butchered that. I have butchered that so hard.
That's right. No, I think France is a good shout.
They've got a good
back
shout.
and they won it in the last year, didn't they? And the last one, so no, they didn't.
They got
lost
to
to
the
Portugal.
final.
Yeah, they lost, didn't they? But no,
They
I
weren't
think
as good as what they were now, I'd say.
yes, agreed. I agree with you. I agree. I think with England, it's just he's trying to get people to believe in
it.
England a bit too much.
Trying to
I
boost
forgot
everyone's
about Belgium
confidence
before I
as well.
said Holland.
Yeah,
I was like,
Belgium was a
no.
good shout.
Yeah,
Oh, God, you're still talking.
there he is. Right, be quiet now, Reece.
Are you finished? Are you still
Right, Jay.
going on? All I heard was
Yeah, we finished.
have you swapped, have you, to Belgium?
No,
No.
I just said that I forgot about Belgium before I said by Holland, but I'm not changing.
So, Reece,
Still back on.
what was the your
What's the summary, Reece? What's the
yeah,
summary?
yeah, that's it. Thanks, Elliot. What was your summary?
That's all right, no worries.
Pretty much just how good like France are as a team altogether. Pretty much, just solid all round, and that they're going to be hard to beat at the Euros. I believe. That's literally my summary. Very butchered up, but
That was painful. That was really painful.
that
Elliot,
was very, very painful.
I'm so sorry, Elliot, for leaving you with him. Right, Elliot,
Yes.
please give me something on Du Netherlands.
All right. So
Recent strength.
I've backed Holland because I think over the last, since, I say in my lifetime, at all the tournaments, they've been the team which have, on paper, have had good teams, but they've never played well and never kind of lived up to that.
Basically, they've been a team
very
that
fair.
disappointed all the time, like England.
Yes, which I think is fair. They had a good World Cup the year Van Persie scored that flying header over Spain. Was that 2014? Yeah. But obviously since then they've lost a few of their Schneider, Robben, Van Persie, all what were key players have left. But now I think even the Dutch league in football has a lot more. It's a bit more. I don't know what the word is. Like higher accounted for. Like people rate it a bit more. I think Dutch football. I think Ajax getting far in the Champions League last year helped that a lot.
I think
they produce a lot of young talent.
I think, unfortunately, the Dutch league is still a feeder league to all the big leagues.
Yeah, I think so. But I think now it's like they're not just the feeder. I think looking last year at the run Ajax had, and I know most of those players have now moved on elsewhere, but that one good push, like you wouldn't see Ajax now. Well, that team that was, you wouldn't look at them and go, "Oh, like we'll walk all over that team." And I think that's kind of changed the whole thing with Dutch football in general is you've got a lot more Dutch, like, recognisable names and players. They had a okay World Cup, I think. I'm not sure, but the Euros before that, they were all right, and the Nations League, they got to the final. At the back, obviously, Virgil's come on a lot. Got to give it to him. He is solid. He is the definition of solid.
He's no Nemanja Vidic.
He's living in the past still, Jay. Come on, catch up.
He's no Nemanja Vidic.
I rate Elliot so much. The amount of times you've said that to me, Jamie, about living in the past.
Reese, mate.
Yeah, mate.
You're an Everton fan. That sums it up. Continue, Elliot.
So what?
Right, 1 second.
Oh, God, sorry.
Well, I think Virgil has the effect of making people better around him, which I think he's done at Liverpool since he's been there with Joe Gomez, which hopefully will help us, help the England squad. And yeah, I think there's a lot of young, good talent in there. They've got Frankie de Jong, De Ligt, Bergwijn's now in at Spurs. So a lot more Dutch players are playing in other countries that isn't Holland, which I think is helping them a lot. So I think that they could get far. I think they're an exciting team to watch as well, which would be good. And yeah, I think they've got obviously the pain of losing in that final to Portugal in the Nations League, but I think they're a lot more prepared now for tournament football than maybe they were previous. That is my argument. My argument against your England is...
Whoa. You had your chance to argue with England and you chose not to.
No, I took my time to speak now.
Hang on.
If you just watch the video back, you'll understand.
Mate,
yeah.
Please, don't start. I was just about to counter your Dutch stuff.
Well, you can counter me when I've counted used to.
Go on, then.
I've waited my turn. I think. With England, I think we'll have another good tournament following the World Cup, 100%. But I think the squad is going to change a fair amount from that World Cup team, especially if it's anything near the one that you chose. I back my squad that I chose to go further than your squad.
I would disagree with that massively.
Wait, explain your squads. I haven't even seen that yet.
Reece, you have to watch the video.
You have to watch the video, mate. Yeah.
Next episode, I'll give my verdict on it.
No, please don't, because it'll be full of advertisers.
But I think there's still maybe we might need, I think, a Euros before we push on in terms of we need, and whatever major tournament it would be, we would need it before we kind of actually challenge properly. I think we need one more good tournament before we actually have that full confidence to go, you know what, we're going there to win it. I don't think England currently go to tournaments to go, we're going to win it.
No, I disagree with you. I think the current squad and the current management are going to the Euros to win it. When you've got the final in your country, why wouldn't you go to win it? And this would be the difference if you were in charge of England. You would be going for the holiday. I would be going to win it.
What, the holiday to London?
You would be going for the occasion. I'd be going to win it.
No, I think because I'm realistic.
Can I just counter that? Oh, hang on. Sorry.
Cool.
Can I just counter that? I'll tell you what, Elliot. You keep talking, and I'll counter it in a sec. Keep talking.
Okay. I think that with the changes which are going to come into the team, there's going to be a lot of people who are playing without that tournament experience, which might affect them a little bit. I fully get that. Obviously, most of our games are at our home stadium, and that should favour us. But sometimes that does bring an added pressure, and I don't know how we're going to cope with it, to be honest.
You're anti-England. That's what you are. You're anti-England.
No, I would love to see my country win a major tournament in my lifetime, whenever that is, whether I'm 80 or whether I'm 20.
What, even if it's the Nations League?
No, it's not a major. I said major.
Anti-England. Winning breeds success.
Not true.
winning breeds success. If you win the Nations League,
So,
winning becomes a habit.
right, okay. All right. Okay. Right. Fair enough. That's what you believe, then that's what you believe. But no, I think I think for England, a good Euros will come. I think we've got a really good squad now. But I feel like we need one more before we are actually really pushing on to try and win.
So even
It's
if
my argument for England.
if England got to the final, you wouldn't support them because you think they need another tournament before they can win it.
Yeah. I mean, that's completely what I said. Yeah, that's completely what I said. Yeah.
So if England got to play Holland in the final, you'd be supporting Holland because you didn't think the English boys would be ready.
I would support England.
I mean, at least you
didn't
right.
ask me who I'm supporting. You didn't ask me who I'm supporting. You asked me who I think is going to win in that game. I'm not sure. Would be a good game though. I think it would be a really good game.
I think
especially between all three.
I think the England boys would do it. Just home turf counts.
I hope they would. I hope they do. But
I've just realised what I'm going to get you for the World Cup, Elliot, or for the Euros. Sorry, I'm going to get you an England shirt with Rice on the back, with Declan Rice's name on the back.
That's fine. I'll take that.
And then when he doesn't make the squad, I'm going to be laughing.
He's got more of a chance than Barkley.
Yeah, thank you.
You reckon, Reece?
I was thinking it.
I reckon Declan Rice will have more of a chance than Ross Barkley getting in.
Interesting, considering Barkley's played the last 8 consecutive games and Barkley hasn't.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I thought this today.
Barkley hasn't.
Sorry, Declan Rice.
Yeah, well.
And I think Barkley is very.
I think we're moving on to a Declan Rice v Barkley discussion again.
True.
We need to move away from that.
Overall, I think for me, Holland are an exciting, basically young team, similar to England are. France argument I get because they've got the experience of winning the World Cup. They were really good. It's a starting 11 of world-class players, which I think makes a difference. But yeah, I think
my argument
Holland
for France
are going to be a little bit surprised.
My argument for France is you take Mbappe out, and I don't think they're as good.
You could say that with
that boy's world class.
You could say that with England and Harry Kane.
Right.
True.
You could do. But what I'm saying is I think England going forward as a team are better than France because France have got Mbappe, which is quite individual, like Portugal and Ronaldo.
In a way, true, yeah.
I think
decent.
I think England's
You've got Griezmann.
I think England's front three are better than the most European nations' front three. I think they're dangerous.
They are, on paper. It's a good front three.
And my counter for the Dutch is I think they're a great young team. I like them. I like Dutch football. I like how the Dutch play their football, fast attacking, counter, pressing. To be honest, I base a lot of my coaching philosophy around the Dutch and how they do it. Keep ball, total football. That's how the academy system that we're going to start up is going to have a philosophy of. So I like it. And that's how I've always tried to coach, attacking football, quick passes. But I think there's one thing that England have over the Dutch, and that's the current team. So you've got to remember, Holland didn't qualify for the last World Cup. They failed to qualify. And then in the last 2 years, they've only started to pick up again. So one thing England have over the Dutch is this crop of players have already got one tournament behind them, which Holland don't. So that's my argument for the Dutch. My argument for the French is the French are, and actually this is quite common for the Dutch as well. This is why they genuinely don't do well at tournaments, the Dutch, when it gets to the latter stages, is the Dutch and French are very well known for falling out with each other. So the French are pretty good at falling out with themselves, and so are the Dutch. So my argument against the French is there isn't really much of an argument because Reece didn't put much of an argument. So that's my argument. So the French, they're obviously world champions. They're a world-class team. But I think if we had them at Wembley on a one-off game in the final, home turf, I would fancy us to beat them. But I would. It's not to say that I wouldn't be very nervous to play them, because I would be, but I would fancy us to beat them on a one-off at Wembley in front of 90-odd thousand, majority English. I would fancy us to beat them.
Yeah.
It's your opinion, isn't it?
Good. So to sum up, then, who wants to do their next topic? Next discussion point. That was my one.
I don't mind.
Mine will probably
I'll do
take some
mine.
time.
All right, Elliot, we'll do yours. So the next.
All right.
So basically, to sum up, England will win the Euros, and Elliot's getting a Declan Rice shirt. There we go. And France aren't even going to come out of the group stages because Reece's argument was so poor.
Right.
Moving on. So my topic of choice
Hang on a
is
sec. How many minutes have we got? Because I can't actually see the minutes.
12. I think 12.
12 left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have to do a second video. Go on then.
So, to be fair, this will be interesting, not necessarily in terms of like a debate, but just in terms of creativity of ideas. My chosen topic is, if you could add or change a current rule in the game of football, what would it be? And it can't be related to VAR, because we've had that discussion already.
Go on then, Reece. I'll let you go first.
If I could change one rule.
I should have bought a
Change
pillow.
or add, it could be to literally anything in the game. The way the game's played, the league, anything.
I should have bought a pillow out to listen to Reece. But before we do, obviously Reece being Mr. France, I'm hoping this will go on to the screen. So Reece, this will be you next year supporting your French boys. That'll be you. Go on then, Reece. Let's hear your argument. Do I need to get comfortable?
Yes, because I've got to try and think of a rule.
That's all right, Elliot, you go first then. It's your topic.
Do you want to? Yeah. Okay, all right. So the one I've chose, I think will make it a bit more exciting. Will make the football better. So as you know, currently, if you lose a game of football, you get nil points. If you win, you get 3 points. If you draw, you get 1 point. The rule I would change was, so you lose, you get no points. You still win, you get 3 points. If it's a score draw, you get a point. If it's a 0-0 draw, you get 0.
What a load of rubbish.
I think that 0-0 draws are often quite boring games. They can be exciting, but
but then you might have a goalkeeper who's had an unbelievable game.
That's not my fault.
Or a striker that's having a woeful game.
Yeah,
well, exactly. That's not my fault either. But what I'm saying is, I think it'll make the football a lot better, because you're going to see teams actually try and score goals. You're not going to see teams go to the big games and just sit back. Especially if they're in relegation, they're going to sit. They're not going to sit back and want to take no points. They're going to need to go and
if it's
score
0-0,
goals.
If it's 0-0, both teams don't get a point.
No, yeah.
So what happens if
points.
you're bottom of the league?
Yeah.
On the last day of the season, and you've got to go to somewhere like Man City, who've won the league.
Yeah.
And you manage to churn out a 0-0 against them, but you still go down because you don't get a point for drawing.
What I'm saying was the emphasis of the football would change. How many times have you seen now that the teams at the bottom go to the big teams and literally just sit back?
Right, but ones if someone like, I don't know, Blackpool, who got promoted a few years ago in the Premier League, let's say they came back to the Premier League and they're out of the relegation zone and all they needed was a point to stay up. And they're holding City to a draw at the Etihad 0-0 because they've put in a Mourinho-style masterclass defensive like he did at the Nou Camp with Inter, and they get the draw. But in your rules, they get 0 points because they haven't been battered by City, and they go down.
Yep, I think it would, but I think you've got to remember as well, it would change the whole concept of the league, because the teams at the bottom, it's going to make it probably, they're going to be closer, because if there's normally the teams who play at the bottom, who go away to the bigger teams, try and obviously don't lose don't come back with nothing by losing, but it would put a lot more emphasis, I think, on entertainment of football to make teams try and go out and score goals. Which I don't think anyone would say to me, oh, that's a terrible idea because
That's a
there can be
terrible
more
idea.
goals scored.
What happens if?
So you're saying you'd rather 10-0 than like and every game having a goal in?
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it's not going to help out the lesser teams who are going to get absolutely battered by every single club.
But I think it would make the quality better.
No, it wouldn't. It would just make it absolutely terrible because they get.
I completely disagree.
And then all tactical knowledge goes out of the game then because it's just who can score.
Why you score, and then you can go into your defensive, and you look after that.
All right. What happens if it's Tottenham?
If it's the other way around.
What happens if it's Tottenham v Leicester, and Tottenham are vying for the title? They're top, but Arsenal win. All Tottenham need is 1 point. Arsenal win. Tottenham draw 0-0, but they don't get any points, and therefore they don't win the title.
Yeah, well, you're saying it as if they don't know what's going to happen. Like if the rule was put in place, right? This is just an idea. It's not like anything which probably will happen because it will never happen. But I think it would make the game more entertaining to watch because you're seeing teams go out and attack.
I think it would make it one-sided for the bigger clubs.
I'm not sure because if the smaller team then goes and say they're winning 1-0 away at City, and City do manage to equalise, they're gaining more out of it than not scoring at all.
But then what are the realistic chances that a smaller team is going to go 1-0 up and then sit and hold?
That happens. You're telling me that don't happen?
No, it does happen, but very rarely it happens, what I'm saying. So you're telling me that a team from the bottom has to go out all out guns blazing to score at City, and then the probable chances of that is City will put 4 past them. So
do you think that even if you told them not to, City wouldn't blaze over them anyway? This season, Liverpool have only lost 1 game. They've blazed over everyone.
But then I think they would have more of a chance if they could sit and hold and then attack when needed.
But then if you're thinking about it from the lower league team, the lower league team, like I say the lower league, as in like your relegation battle team, you're going away, you can have more of an effect on slowing the people up in front of you.
If this rule came in, the league would turn into La Liga. There would only be 3 or 4 teams that would benefit from this, and the rest of the teams would get absolutely battered every week. When you've got Mo Salah and Rashford or Kane or world-class strikers in the top 6, 8, and then the rest of them don't have strikers that hit no more than 10 goals a season, then it's going to be one-sided.
But do you reckon? So at the moment, the league anyway is currently dominated by those 6, 7 teams. Would it make much of a difference? Probably not, because the teams in 10th to 20th, those games become a lot more valuable.
But then if you look at the top, so first and second don't really count. If you look at 3rd to about 10th, the points gap I don't think is no more than 10 points.
Right. Okay.
So which means it's very close. I think if you added your rule, you'd have
10
about
points is close.
Well, considering 3rd to about 10th. I think if you then added your rule, it'd be about 40 to 50 points difference, and that is not a competitive league.
No, I think for the terms of entertainment, entertainment, it would make the game better to watch. I don't think anyone would be able to disagree with me because there's more goals. We watch football to see goals. We want to watch attacking football.
Yeah, we do.
Can you disagree with that?
We do watch football for goals, but it's only going to benefit a handful of clubs who have the better players.
Yeah, sure. It will be.
I'm not sure. I disagree.
Well,
I disagree.
I'm right because it will only benefit 6 teams.
Why would I think you're right if I thrown the idea out there?
I think it'll only benefit 6 teams. Unless you've got a world-class striker, it's not going to benefit you. And also, it's going to
benefit half the league.
And it's going to have a financial hit on some of the teams who who can't go out all guns blazing and score, and then
Mm,
they get relegated because they haven't got enough.
I disagree because I think still currently the gap is way too big. So whether you bring in the like no point for a 0-0 or not, the gap will always be there. I don't think the necessarily like the point system is the reason why the gap is so big. But it's not, I don't think that is what it is. But I think for the terms of entertainment, it would make it a lot better to watch. I'm not saying that the like City versus Norwich game will be more exciting to watch. I'm saying that the kind of Norwich Villa game would be more exciting to watch. You're not seeing two teams who are like just looking after the ball, would be happy with a point,
But then
because a point's better than none.
But then I could counter that argument and say you're not a Norwich fan. So a Norwich fan might come on here and say, well, actually, I quite like the way we play.
But would they say, oh, I'd rather us score goals, or I'd rather us just
But
keep
they
the ball
have
for 90
been.
minutes?
They have been scoring goals. And where are they? At the
So
bottom.
therefore,
Because they can't defend.
therefore their team, exactly. This rule would be putting in place for attacking reasons,
You'd be
not
making
defensive
it
reasons.
worse on Norwich, not better.
Yeah.
Anyway, hold it
I
there.
don't think so, because they could benefit.
I'm going to stop this because we're running out of time and then we'll just add to the next video.
Oh yeah.